In this video, I'm going to show you how to prepare the data to train mask-CNN for nuclei segmentation. So I'm in the codes directory for mask-CNN. Just before that, let's have a look at the data. So if we go back to a folder, so we have data, and the data we used for UNet was in annotated nuclei. So we're going to use the same data. If I go back to images, I actually just have so the images, so that's the DAPI, and if we look at the mask, we have the mask in the right format, which is a different intensity for each individual nucleus. So the data is in the right format. However, we just need to do a pre-processing step here, because the way the code is implemented with this notebook, mask-CNN consider the entire image. Or if we look at, so if we go back, I'm going to open the image with Fiji. It's very large images. We have images that are 1868 times 1400, so very large images. So if I try to train mask-CNN with such large images, it's going to fail. So we're going to divide these images into images that are about 256 by 256. So it can be run with a GPU that is not that powerful. The last thing is that all the images don't have the same dimension. Those 4 images are 1800 by 1400, but if I look at the last one, it's half the size in width. So we're going to use a notebook to divide these images, but as this one doesn't have the same dimension, I'm going to put it in a different folder, so I can process it separately. So I'm going to create a folder that I call small. It could be anything. It's just important that they are not in the same folder, because the algorithm processes all the images in the same folder. So let me create another folder, small. I'm going to put the corresponding mask here. So I'm in the mask. I have the 4 annotated nuclei for the large images, and here I have the other one. All right, so everything is down. Now I can open my pre-processing. So it's called pre-processing, divide images into sub-images. It looks like the other ones we used so far. They're always organized the same way. So we need to first load all the codes and the Python libraries, and then we have the parameters. So simple parameters, the input directory where the images we want to subdivide are, where we're gonna put the subdivided images, and then dividers in width and height. So I need to create an output directory. I'm gonna go back here, and I'm gonna move into codes, mask-CNN, datasets, nuclei. So I already have a test folder. I'm going to create a training folder with an images folder and a mask folder. All right. So it's always organized the same way, so that the algorithm knows where data is. One folder for the images, one folder for the annotation. So let me just select now the correct directory. So I need to go back to the data folder. So I need to go up in data, annotated nuclei, images. All right, I have the 4 images I want to subdivide. I'm going to select this one, and the output is going to be in nuclei, the one I just created in training, and images. Select this one. And if I divide by 7 in width and 5 in height, I'm going to have something about 256 by 256. Let's run it. So it's very fast. It's just dividing image into sub-images. So let's do the same now for the annotation. If I go up in masks, I have 4 images I want to process. And then here, if I go up, training in masks, I can do the same. So I still need to do for the small images. So here I'm going to change it, and I can stay in the mask, but select the small directory. And so it's the same output because it's still the mask. I just need to change this one. So it's half the size. So I'm just going to divide by 3 instead of 7. I'm going to run it. And finally, I still have one image, the small image to process. If I go back to images and small, and now if I go back to images and process it, now I'm down. Let's just have a look at what we have. If I go back to my training, I have that many images now. So you can see the way it works is that we have the same name than the original image, and then we just add numbers for the subdivision in X and Y. So that's the first in X with different Y coordinates and so on. We can look at it with annotator to make sure that it works. So if I open annotator, if I go into, so I'm going to go into codes, mask-RCNN, datasets, nuclei, training, images, let's open, so the fourth one, or the sixth one, okay. All right, so it's clearly smaller. You can see it's 266 by 280. If I load the corresponding mask, it's going to be this one. All right, so it's the correct one. So let's close this. The final thing I need to do is that I only have a training now. If I want to create a validation, I need to define a new folder in which I'm going to have images folder and masks folder. All right, and I'm going to just copy and paste, move, not copy, but move. So let me open another Explorer. I'm going to go into training. Codes, mask-RCNN, datasets, nuclei, training. Let's first consider the images, and let's say I'm going to put everything like 1, 1, 2, 1, and 3, 1, like 3 images per polyp. Okay, so if I go to images, I'm going to select 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, and then 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1. So you could do it in the terminal with comments. That would be faster, but that works too. It's just very important to know which one you put, because it has to be the same, of course, for the images and for the annotation. 2, 1, and 3, 1. And here I'm already in the images, so I'm going to just move like this. I have 15 images. I'm going to do the same thing now, but for the annotations. Let's go back to mask. And so let's do the same operation. So I'm going to speed up the video so you don't have to wait. All right, I'm going to move them, and I have so 15 images, the same one. And now we are ready to train mask-RCNN.